comments saying, they understand my posts and they resonate with what I'm saying, but they don't know how to begin or where to start with awakening and truly awakening and discovering who they are. And a lot of us don't understand the magnificence behind looking within yourself. We don't understand the magnificence because we allow our minds to tell us that we already know what's there. We've already looked within ourselves. We know ourselves best. But we do not realize that the governments and they are not keeping anything from you. We're not keeping anything from the people. We're under the presumption that they, the government, this entity, this corporation, this group, is keeping a secret from the people that we don't know. And this is why so many people are stuck and immersed in government conspiracies, because we feel they hold a great secret over the people. But the fact of the matter is, you hold this great secret from yourself. And the point that you speak from within the mind is safeguarding this illusory self. You are preserving this self. You are fighting to cling on to this self. And we don't realize this, but everything that we're seeing through the mirror, because remember, the world does not exist. In this teaching, in this fashion, the world does not exist, nor does the viewer that's viewing it. The body is illusory just as the world is, so we need to understand first and foremost that we are not all experiencing the same thing. We are not all looking at the same thing, because what we're calling the world is nothing but a screen to our own consciousness. So we're not actually seeing a world, we are seeing a mirror which reflects back to us our own thoughts and our own beliefs. And what we don't understand is that this mirror begins with the foundational belief of who you think you are. And if you pay attention to most people's posts in the spiritual community, we still identify with the body. We still identify with the name and the mind. We still identify as the victim, as someone that is being manipulated, or someone that is being held hostage or enslaved here. And that is where our problem lies. That is what is going to mirror back to us every which way we look in the mirror. Because our foundational belief is we're still human, we're still a body, we still have to exist. This awakening doesn't change anything. This awakening, or an awakening, is not about quitting your job or leaving society. It's quite the contrary, and that's why Buddha said, walk through the pond or walk through the river without getting your feet wet. And what he meant by that is you still participate in life, just like the lotus flower. It doesn't escape the water, it floats on the water graciously without being disturbed on the inside, and that's the same thing. People have asked me, how do you live by these quotes, or do you live by your posts and what you say? And if anyone who knows me in person, they know 110%, I don't just speak these things, I live it each and every day, each and every encounter, and I go to work each and every day. And what we don't realize is work can become play when you truly understand that these places you're calling, work, home, the store, these places all exist in your mind. And once again, it's that mirror reflecting back to you yourself. So if you're thinking you're enslaved here, you're being forced to work here, then understand that what's going to reveal itself in the mirror to you is just that you are a slave, that you are being manipulated. They only support your beliefs, but we don't understand our power. That is our power. What you believe is directly what you will see, hence seeing is believing. And that is the truth that nobody can take from you. However, we want to have many truths, but there is inevitably only one truth, and it is that we are everything, we are everyone, we are each other. We're not many, we're one person, we're one being. And there is no world. The seer and what's seen are the illusion in the mirror. And that's what we must awaken to. We don't understand our power. The mind is everything, which means right behind your eyes, you are doing something without you even knowing it. But at any moment, this game can change. The government conspiracies can end, because I can promise you they are not leading up to anything. The reason the spiritual community is remaining immersed in government conspiracies is because we think they are going to reveal something to us inevitably. We think they're going to reveal to us that they found the alien, or that, they found something in outer space. But this is the inevitability of the singularity, which is you yourself. There is no one keeping you from this information but you. Who we think we are is what we're protecting each and every day through our own beliefs. And what we don't realize is our beliefs contain us and limit us and create boundaries where there are none. But at any moment we can choose to awaken, and I'll get to the how. But each and every day at the forefront of your mind needs to be, who am I? And I have so many people say, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how to live it. I don't know where to begin. Understand that the I that you just spoke through, when you say I understand, is the illusory character. You are not the I you are speaking from. So therefore, you don't need to understand. You need to begin to experience and awaken through yourself. Understand that what I speak in my posts and my videos is not to bring you some new truth or some newfound thing. I'm showing you yourself beyond the mirror, which is of no identity. Because how can you have an identity when you are every incarnation, when you are everything, and everything is alive around you, from the trees to the winds to the waters and everything else? We're not merely a part of God, and we're not merely a part of, a piece in nature. We are nature, and when we understand who we truly are, it's relatively easy to fall in line with nature. We always say the ancient civilizations were so in sync with the nature and the planets and all these things. They understood that the outside mirrored the inside, and that there was no actual world. We're not viewing a world. Everything is a mental construct, which means we are shaping and creating everything from within us. And that's why when someone tells you to look within yourself, it is asking you to re-examine your most sacred and foundational beliefs. And as I stated, that begins and ends with who you are. And what that requires to awaken is a price to be paid within yourself. It's funny because a lot of these terms we use, we've termed them, we've dubbed them as evil, but the all-seeing eye represents that there is one witness, one presence. And once again, this corporation, this government, keeps no secret from you. It is you keeping the great secret from yourself. And as soon as you understand who you are, you will understand you are the ancestors. You are the advanced civilizations that did not die. They are here now because you are here now. And again, when you understand that, you're able to, how do I say this? Bring them back to life, because you understand they are here now through you. Nothing is dead and nothing is gone and nothing is lost. No one dies here but the individual itself. And I've said this many times. You will die an infinite amount of physical deaths, but you can only die a spiritual death once. So if questions remain in your head of who you are, where you will go when you die, or things like of that nature, how I open my third eye, or what to do next, then you have yet to spiritually die. And this is why Buddha's philosophy was called total death, because he wanted people to understand that if you're coming to me, this is not, and that is his famous quote, my teaching is not for those seeking an accumulation of knowledge. So if you're seeking an accumulation of knowledge, this teaching is not for you, which is why he taught total death, total annihilation of the ego, because he understood that people were coming to him for something because he was Buddha, the enlightened one. But his premise was, why come to Buddha, the enlightened one, when right where you sit or stand or lay, you are already Buddha, the enlightened one, but something is veiling you from yourself, from your true power. And we don't see that power because, again, we safeguard and fight to preserve our egos. And all our ego is our identity. And it's naturally so. I'm not saying that anyone's wrong in doing so. It's naturally so that we fight to preserve who we think we are. Because obviously we love ourselves and we think we're preserving ourselves. But there is something here beyond what you're calling yourself that is already perfect, already divine. And I say this a lot to the spiritual community. But if you ask most of these people if they've awakened or have they experienced an awakening, they say yes. But if you pay attention to their posts and their content, it's all about the world becoming a dark and gloomy and evil place. And it's all about someone in this experience keeping them from the answer. Someone, manipulating or controlling them, which shows they have yet to awaken. We have convinced our egos we have awakened, but we have not annihilated the ego and spiritually died, because we're still under the premise that there is someone else here when it is all you. That is your power. That is the grand secret. When we are ready, we will be willing to pay the price and surrender what's known and allow what's known. And when I say what's known, I mean your sacred beliefs. We will surrender those to this moment, which already is perfect, which needs no thought, needs no effort, needs no correction, and we will be able to be in sync with all things. And once again, people misunderstand my words. When I say you awaken and you're able to be, that does not mean you sit around and do nothing. Hence, I am on my way to my job, to my work. You don't sit around and do nothing. That is not what this means. You very actively participate in life. However, you become the game changer. Everything you wanted to see or experience comes to life through you. All the questions that you once had of yourself are gone, are eliminated, because the person who you speak through, known as I, who is asking all the questions, I have a question, is annihilated. You will begin and end with yourself. It's just like Rumi says, I searched for God and found nothing but myself. I searched for myself and found nothing but God. And it's the same with any entity or word you can apply it to. I searched for the alien and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only the alien. You are everything you seek, and total liberation is yours at any moment when you decide to pay that price within yourself and awaken at once. Which means understand that these government conspiracies, the stories, the algorithms are going to repeat on your Facebook, on your timeline, on your Instagram, on social medias, on the news. Every which way you look, these algorithms are going to repeat themselves and repeat themselves and repeat themselves until you change for yourself. Nothing changes until you do, until we do. But that is why this is not the popular truth. We want there to be a magic answer where everything is just done, boom, without us having to do the work. And that is not how shadow work works. Shadow work is you facing the mirror once and for all and realizing that what you're calling the world, what you're calling government, what you're calling these systems do not exist beyond the mind. And again, I hope people don't misunderstand my words, because then people start saying, do you deny there's this and do you deny there's that? Don't think too much into it, but understand your words are nothing but water. Water takes the shape of any form that you put it in. Your words are no different. The mind is what's shaping them into form. That's why you see a world. Your mind has shaped yourself into thinking you're in a world, you're in some place, you're in the universe. But these words only mirror back to you your beliefs. And again, everything in the mirror begins and ends with who you think you are. So if you want to awaken, where do you begin? You begin at I. Every time you speak, you will use the word I. I have a question. I am afraid. I want to awaken. I want to open my third eye. The I you're speaking through is illusory, which means it has never existed, yet you are speaking through it. Which you must understand, this is a false self. This is the illusory self. which means everything you're trying to achieve already is. Your third eye is much alive and much open, but there is something veiling you from this. There's something telling you that you must do something in order to achieve this. And this is where New Age spirituality comes in. You see, with this teaching, nobody can sell you anything, and that's why the spiritual community has been compromised. It has been turned into another religion. It has been commercialized, where people are selling you, I don't want to disrespect anyone's, practices, but they're selling you sound baths and chakra work and all these things, and they're telling you how it's going to align you and create a magic frequency within you and do this and do that. But what about that something that is already perfect here? That is why the child is the highest expression of the divine, because it has no mission. It has no idea of perfecting something here, and it has no idea of space or time. It simply goes about from day to day, moment to moment, being the divine expression of the Most High, and always being in that divine light and shining that light. That's why I made that status. If you put an adult in an empty room, they will create a prison. If you put a child in an empty room, they will create magic. Because the child's mind is innocent. The adult's mind is not so innocent. The adult's complexity is our downfall, is the adult's downfall. That is why depression is at its all-time highs, because everything we think we know is just surface level knowledge that can be changed and transformed at any time. We have yet to understand or find an understanding which cannot change. And hence this message cannot change. This message has been consistent through me for years and always will be. Through COVID, through anything that is happening in the world, it does not matter. The message cannot change. And it can never be compromised. And when you understand yourself, there is nobody that can bring you the truth, because you already have it. So once again, I am not offering or sharing people truth or my truth. This is the universal truth, and the truth is what it is. And you must bend to it or live a lie. And that's what I want to see people do, is push themselves to their limitlessness. No longer playing small, because that's what we're doing. We're pretending to be something we're not, and we're playing small. And we're playing victim. Spirituality was about self-empowerment, was about devouring who you believed you are so that you can rise from your ashes and truly see that you're not just a drop, you are the entire ocean. I see so many people sharing all these quotes from Rumi and all this, but right after that they share a government conspiracy or a Mountain Dew soda can, for example, and we're letting all these things tell us what is happening and what is going on. But underneath all that stuff, you can tell all we're looking for is guidance. All we're looking for is something to guide us and tell us where we're going next or what's happening, which is not wrong, right? But again, you must understand that's what religion is for. If you want some guidance or you want some ground rules or something to tell you what to do or what's next, that's where religion comes in. And understand, just as I said, the spiritual community has been compromised because religions blame everything on Satan and the devil. But most people in spirituality understand that God and the devil are one entity. They're the same entity, and that is behind your eyes, that you are the God and the devil principle. However, spiritual community has replaced the devil, has replaced Satan with the word government and they. And we don't know who they are, and even if we think we know who they don't ever reveal to you anything, because these conspiracies aren't leading up to who you are, and they never will. So basically, you will remain immersed till the day you die in these conspiracies, never having experienced a spiritual death. Which means we will die assuming that we are victim here, that we are just this microscopic being that is insignificant and has no power here. But we must understand power is already ours, because you are what's revolving the stars and phasing the moon. You are the cosmic principle here. You are not some stranger, and you are not some being that's just meaningless. And when you truly understand who you are and you look in that mirror honestly at what you're calling they, what you're calling government, and how we blame them for everything that's wrong in our experience, We can understand that this chattering box in our head that's speaking for us is supporting the dream, because deep down, who we think we are, the ego, does not want the dream to be over. We don't want it to end. And as much as we think we do, we don't understand that we are what's keeping the dream going. Because we are terrified of everything we know, everything we believe to come to an end. And I'll tell you this, spirituality is not all good feelings and love and light and happiness. It's not all that. That's what the spiritual community has commercialized to sell everybody because it's attractive. But when people tell you the raw truth, they turn the page off, they turn the video off, they go away, because that can't be it. It has to be love and light. It has to be beautiful. But in order to get to that beauty and divine and bliss, you must face yourself in the mirror, which is terrifying. It's haunting. It's hard work. Absolutely. But if you want total liberation, this is the doorway. Look into the mirror once and for all, and the game is over. You will understand who you are, and you will take back your place as the cosmic light. Instead of you calling that light that's external to you the universe, you will understand this is your own light, and this is your own being. However, I have to go into my work, which, again, this is play for me. This is not work. When you understand who you are, this place that you call your job is the very same place that you call your home. All these places are one, and all the places, people, and things are connected through the one, through you, through the singularity. And who you are is inevitable and waiting to welcome you home. When you are willing and ready to surrender and allow the dream to be over once and for all.